About 33,000 whales a year were being killed. We got it down eventually to about 330, 1% of that amount. It's now going back up again.
There has to be a new generation that takes over from here. You know, there's only so many Rick O'Berrys and Roger Paynes. They're now in their 60s and 70s now, and there's not a lot of people out there picking up where they've left off.
It sinks very slowly, this line. It does sink, but it's very slowly, so I just put a couple weights on it. We're going to have these two hydrophones connected to it.
One thing, I took all the other stickers off, so the ones, please return.
Yeah, let's take the sticker off, okay? Jesus.
033-224-5000.
That's a cell phone number for the U.S. Embassy in Tokyo, as well as cell phone numbers of our other two phones, just in case something shits the bed.
When we very discreetly leave the hotel room with 4 or 5 guys dressed in black with the camera equipment, we have it timed really well. So we know when the guard turns up, we know how far the cop is going to be behind us, we know how long it takes the cops to get from the next village there.
It was probably the scariest night of my life because we've been up for, many days in a row preparing for this. We're exposed out there. If there's very few places we can hide.
Let's go, you guys. Louis, Simon, we're gonna go up on the path. Is that okay? Yeah, go on.
Randy first.
Roger that. Charles, I'm gonna start heading to a big rock. Roger that. I'm over it. It's all clear. The light is off. Right.
Keep that light off as much as possible. You see that all the way across the harbor.
How does that look with the thermal? He looks like he just dove. Is that the case?
Yeah, I saw 2 figures, white hot on the screen, in the road up ahead of me around the bend.
Okay, we think that there's a couple of guys on us right now. Hold steady and see if we see somebody standing out there. Okay, there's flashlights coming along the path here. This might be interesting. Did you see somebody on that side?
But I definitely saw a flashlight.
Let's go.
Get out of there. Get out of there now.
Sound devices from the water. Stay put.
Call Joe.
Joe. Roger that. On my way. 2 minutes. Guards are moving.
Yeah, let's go.
Down on the steps by the tunnel.
Right here.
It's him. Here he is.
Holy Christ. Nice work, son.
Jesus.
100% of the people in the vehicle?
It's a good night.
That's a good night.
Strange action. Midnight, early morning, masked, some obvious
I don't know.
member.
Not me.
Midnight, I'm sleeping.
いやいやそうだからまあ一人やから知りませんよということやね。Maybe the person is an OPS member, I think.
I don't know. I cannot speak for OPS. I can only speak for Rick O'Barry. I cannot speak for anybody except myself. At midnight, I'm sleeping.
Yeah, no. The another OPS member is,
I don't know. I'm not OPS. I'm not OPS, no.
You have no connection with OPS?
Well, I do an interview. Anybody who wants to talk to me, I will talk to them.
Yes.
OPS wants to talk to me, and I talk to them. I talk to anybody about mercury poisoning.
まあ水銀の話で、Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for a long time.
Bye-bye.
I think the most horrifying thing about the whole dive that night was that, you could hear them communicating with each other, and you knew that that next morning that would be the end of it. There'd be silence forever.
They're always trying to communicate with us. And that's hard to explain, but when you live with them like I did on the Flipper TV show day and night, I can read that body language.
There's something visceral about being in the water with an animal like this. As a scientist, I'm trained to recognize intelligence through objective measures, tool use, cognitive processes, and so on. As a human being, when I see a dolphin looking at me and his eyes tracking me and I lock eyes with that animal, there's a human response that makes it undeniable that I'm connecting with an intelligent being.
Science has been tantalized for years at the prospect of talking to the most intelligent creatures on Earth, which may not be human beings.
A small group of scientists is determined to see if humans and dolphins can learn to talk to each other.
We keep spending billions of dollars sending signals up into the sky, and we have a species here that can conceivably be more intelligent than we are.
Dolphins can understand how to manipulate situations, how to relate to people, how to create innovatively out of their own imagination. It sometimes amazes me that the only language which has been extensively taught to dolphins is a version of American Sign Language, which of course you use your hands, right? So you have all these wonderful signals and people use their hands to give messages to dolphins. And this somehow kind of misses the point because dolphins don't have hands. So this is inherently a very one-way process. And it's this anthropomorphic, we have something to teach them or control them, and perhaps we ought to be looking at what they can give to us.
It's not about intelligence. It's about consciousness. They are self-aware like humans are self-aware. That means that we look in the mirror and we know exactly what we're looking at. I don't believe that the fishermen here are aware of that. When they're in that killing cove and their babies are being slaughtered in front of them, they're aware of that. They can anticipate what's going to happen to them. That's an eerie sound, isn't it? The dolphins we're hearing now are all dead. Tomorrow there'll be another group replacing them.
The first time I went to Taiji was in 1980, and I had been to Iki the year before. Iki is a tourist destination for Japanese, which became infamous for the most ghastly slaughters of dolphins. I mean, literally thousands of them could be killed in a day. Well, I went back to Iki about 3 years ago, and they don't have any dolphins. Where once they had thousands of them streaming by their coast. Irony of ironies, because the international captivity trade is so lucrative, they want to be in on it. And they don't have any dolphins. They have to have dolphins for their dolphin park, so they go buy them in Taiji now. Every cetacean known to man is endangered just by going anywhere near Japan.
We asked the Taiji fishermen if we could subsidize this activity. In other words, if you leave the boats tied up at the dock, we'll pay you the same amount of money you would have made killing dolphins in Taiji. They got back to us and said, it's not about money, it's about pest control. Pest control. In other words, they're being told by the government that the dolphin are eating too much fish in the ocean.
This is not an attempt just to incriminate whales as a bad guy. However, we cannot ignore the fishing effort has been decreasing.
It's seriously hard to take that PowerPoint demonstration seriously.
I have to tell you that there is very strong evidence that whales are consuming huge quantities of fish that are also the target of fisheries.
The government of Brazil wants to put on record that, to us, it certainly amounts to what only can be described as biological nonsense.
It is clear that the fisheries of the world are on decline. And the obvious culprit is people, and we don't want to acknowledge that. We look at the ocean as a source of infinite quality seafood, and I think we're learning some hard lessons that this isn't true.
We're pulling the fish out of the ocean at such a rate and eroding and diminishing our marine ecosystems so bad that the whole thing could collapse.
%70 of human beings, 7 out of 10 people, rely as their principal protein on seafood.